how would be the best way to acquire wisdom?
I had 3 mentors in my life. First was my dad. I learned from my dad to be a soul winner. And I learned from my dad to be a visionary. My second mentor was my pastor. My pastor I described him to him as a man that was limited when it came to Bible knowledge and all that. But he had 2 things that were standing in his life. And one was he was a prayer warrior. Let me give you an example of what kind of a man he was. One day he said to me, "Son, after work, I want you to come. I want to talk to you. Let's meet at the church. I want to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So after work, this was in the summertime. Well, Central, in the summertime, the heat goes up to 120 degrees.
Yes.
The church had no air conditioning. It had some desert coolers. Inside is 130 or even more degrees. It's unbearable. So he said, "Meet in the church." So I waited for him and began to sweat, but he doesn't come. And so I didn't know what to do, how long I have to wait. And suddenly I hear a little murmuring come from one of the Sunday school rooms. And I went and opened the door. There was my pastor, kneeling down. He's completely soaked. In front of him was a puddle of sweat and tears. And he was interceding for the church. And I said, "I want to be like him.
Wow.
I want to learn how to pray like him." Secondly, he told me one day, the most important thing that you'll ever possess was to have wisdom. Wisdom is different than knowledge, he explained to me. Knowledge you can acquire. Wisdom has to be given to you from God. You have to covet it. You have to want it. You have to want wisdom. The whole mindset of wisdom doesn't come from sitting in a classroom and getting tips and going this way and reading books. No. It comes when you want it. When a person wants wisdom, God gives it to you. You cannot be a pastor without wisdom. And God doesn't give it to you because you ask for it or because you're better than anybody else. God gives you gifts because he loves the people.
Amen.
And in order to minister to the people, he gives you those gifts so you can become effective.
Amen.
So I don't think I answered your question because there's not a cut and dry answer to that. The millennials today, they have a lot of knowledge. I mean, they have a lot of spunk, but they lack wisdom.